There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. It is a special edition Eyes Open here on a Tuesday, the 26th day of 2024, almost the end of March. And we are in the middle of Holy Week. Sunday was Palm Sunday. And this will be Good Friday coming up and Easter on Sunday. So, again, thank you for clicking on. Thank you for being here. We're going to get started and run through some things real quick. As the title said, what's going on in Texas? We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the Francis Scott Key Bridge that went down, collapsed in Baltimore, and we're going to talk about Diddy. Diddy or didn't he? Well, a reminder: we showed this from Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay, and Cat Williams from a few weeks back. Let's just give this another check here to start things off.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need no. You here? Get your number.
Thank you, sir.
Again, you know, when you hear things about incredibly famous people that are, well, let's just say troubling, it's hard for some people to wrap their hands around how, you know, how a public figure, how the image in public is not always the image that is reality. Let's just put it that way. You're not going to hear about this on the mainstream, but I thought we should talk about it. In Brussels, protesting farmers engaging in a bizarre duel with police. Farmers are spraying the police with manure, and police are in kind emptying a water cannon onto the farmers. So, again, this is happening in Brussels. It's not going to be on our news because our news is controlled. Our mainstream media is controlled. The messages are controlled. The narratives are controlled. And they don't want to see that protests are going on, that people are catching on to what this Agenda 2030 by the United Nations and the World Economic Forum, the WHO. They don't want us aware because Americans, we can get unruly, and we can get unruly fast. And if we happen to get united, it will be tough to take us down as a country. Not impossible, because we're doing it ourselves at the moment. But all right, one of the things we asked was what's going next, as we've talked about on here, has passed a law that they can arrest anyone on suspicion of not being a United States citizen, and they have set up checkpoints to do just that. And this is an example of what happens when a United States citizen decides they don't want to cooperate at a checkpoint. I'm hoping. I don't know, maybe this isn't going to play. Not sure what the deal was. Okay. Well, anyway, let me try it shrunk down and see if it'll play. Okay. It's not going to play. The law law enforcement officer comes up and asks to see ID. The guy says no. Asks if he's a U.S. citizen. He says he doesn't want to answer. And basically, I really do not know why this isn't playing. Maybe this isn't supposed to be getting out there. Anyway, Christine from Twitter is formerly X. I'm going to try this one more time just because I've played the entire 6 minutes and 35 seconds, and now here we are, and it's not going to play. But be aware of what you ask for, because a lot of people in Texas wanted this, not realizing it was going to be a hindrance to them. Of course, we've talked about Diddy or Didn't. Suge Knight says, people, the rage today wasn't for Diddy. It was to destroy the incriminating stuff on powerful men. And he has a hashtag Epstein, Diddy, and Clive Davis, which is a possibility, because the word is that every house or every room in Diddy's houses had multiple hidden cameras in them, including the restrooms, and that this could have been a possible situation like Epstein's, where it was actually a honeypot that was about getting incriminating evidence on the powerful and otherwise untouchable. We'll see if that indeed does play out. Okay, this is what's going on inside Russia at the moment. There is so much disbelief in Russia about Putin and the FSB's versions about Ukrainians, Tajiks, and ISIS, that instead of conspiracy theories spreading about mysterious guys in blue sweaters, they allegedly organized it all and are from the FSB, according to the theory. Which is, if you watch the show, you know that was my first response was, this is the Russian Secret Service doing it to themselves as a false flag to justify the mobilization of over 500,000 new soldiers to fight against Ukraine. This group is there's a group that's doing a lot of analysis. His face up close looks awfully close to the same guy that ended up arresting the alleged people that are said to have done this. We'll get back to that. I found this incredibly interesting. Again, getting back to Diddy. 4 months ago, a psychic predicted this would happen. And let's listen.
Of P. Diddy and his 3 right-hand men, okay? 3. His mouth is being sewn up. So when I see his face, the image I get is the mouth is being sewn up. So he is going to be unable to speak for some reason. I can't talk. I speak on it coming out over here, even though some of them are outing themselves. These are old guys connected to old style Motown. He's being shut up from outing them or from speaking about them for some reason. So there's a hierarchy going on here, and there's a total takedown of him. He is being sacrificed. So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrificial lamb. And I do mean that. There's something that comes up with him in March, speaking of the lamb, during the Easter.
That she said all this stuff 4 to 6 months ago. And here we are, Easter.
In that time frame, that's why I said lamb. There's something else that's going to come up with him. We are not done. There are younger musicians that are going to come out against him and talk about what he did. The bodies that are buried, okay? So the bodies that are buried. They're going to talk about it.
You know, in case you haven't got the idea, there's going to be a lot more to this Diddy thing. Diddy was allegedly running a honeypot blackmail operation just like Epstein. And guess who was giving him legitimacy? Allegedly, Prince Harry. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s name's been involved. There are going to be a lot of people that you're probably going to be surprised if ever that the evidence will be destroyed to protect those that are the richest and the most powerful. I wouldn't be surprised, but we'll see. Federal government will pay for the entire cost of reconstructing that bridge, is a quote unquote. We're talking about the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And I got this because why isn't the insurance company of that vessel paying for any part of the damages is a very valid question. Why is the federal government coming out right away and saying they're going to foot the bill? This was Biden talking earlier. I'm going to get back to this because get back to this near the end because of the Biden thing. Again, and this is Diddy and a 14, just about 15-year-old Justin Bieber.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come out. Yeah. Yo. Shot it.
Man.
Minute. Team. You come down like you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 50. Not yet.
No.
Right, 16.
No,
16.
Slow
Right.
down. Let's slow down, Josh.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. When you know, you get 16, you get 18, you get the house. The mansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, where do you want to go?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
So anyway, that's some video surfacing from the past, one of many from the past. Russian police officer with a canine calmly walks away as people run past him during the Crocus City Hall massacre. Not a single member of law enforcement from Russia was even injured in the terror attack, and nor were any of them on site. It took an hour and a half for the security that normally is at that venue. They were a meter away, which is less than a mile, and they did not respond for an hour and a half. These are all things that just make the speculation that this is not as it seems. That what happened in the Russian terrorist attack, we will probably never know the truth, to be honest with you. A little more dirt from the past. Kanye said Puff Diddy was a Fed, just like Epstein, and Diddy's job was to collect blackmail on celebrities, wealthy individuals who engaged in homosexual or pedophilic activities during the Pervywood parties. Again, we're just putting all this stuff out so you know what's out there, and you can make the decision on your own. Francis Scott Key Bridge. This is pointing to it's sped up. And you can see the drastic turn that is taken before the cargo vessel rams into one of the pylons holding up the ship, or holding up the bridge rather, collapsing on the ship. Now, what happened was, allegedly, the ship dropped its anchors to try to avoid a collision. This is what's being said, and that was the reason for the drastic turn. There are those that say there was this is a cyber attack, a very well orchestrated cyber attack. There's those that say there are explosives on the bridge. A lot of speculation, and again, we may not ever find out what actually really happened, but at the very least, that bridge collapsed, and then people died, and that should not be marginalized. As I said, there's a group that's working really hard on what happened in Russia. It's Nexta, and they say they have identified agents of the Secret Service that were actually in that concert hall, and they say that they've got their faces covered here, but that the men that were again inside the concert hall, it's the same person that was taking into custody the alleged perpetrators. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, President Biden addressed the nation on the bridge collapse and said this.
At about 1:30, container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware either on a train or by car. At about 1:30, container.
Okay, the bridge doesn't have any train tracks, so he wasn't going over it by train, and that's a mistake that should not be made. Is it a sign of decline? That's up for you to decide. This is one of the most appalling things I've ever personally seen. Donald Trump hawking Bibles during Holy Week. He says, as we lead into Good Friday and Easter, I encourage you to get a copy of the God Bless the USA Bible. It's a Bible his company is selling. He wanted to call it the Trump Bible, of course, but his advisors talked him out of that anyway. It's just this guy is just absolutely shameless, absolutely shameless, and this is why I say, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a MAGA Christian. I'm not a MAGA Republican Christian. I'm an actual biblical Christian, and what this is blasphemous to me personally. Incredibly bad taste. The guy's selling gold tennis shoes. The guy's selling playing cards, collector's cards of himself. The scams are endless, and I just cannot. I'm not even going to guess what they have done to the Bible, how they've bastardized the text. It's just beyond me. Half of the city of Miami's commissioners were arrested last year. Half of the commissioners. Now, a commissioner was arrested after the Miami Ethics Board launched an investigation. So what happened? Florida lawmakers have now passed a law that's prohibiting ethics boards from launching any investigations. I hope you see. I hope you see. Largest direct energy weapon is a whistleblower that we will hopefully hear when we go full screen.
Blowing the whistle on.
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapon system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Okay. Allegedly responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. What about the earthquakes in Haiti? What about the earthquakes in Turkey? What about the earthquakes all around the world? What about the earthquake that actually is the great giant big one? Again, we are far, far from aware of everything that's going on. And if you watch this show, you know that over the past few years, we've been talking to you about DEWs, direct energy weapons. And it does need to be part of our vocabulary. This came in earlier. The United Kingdom has announced it's imposing sanctions on China, publicly calling out China, taking actions for, they've summoned the Chinese ambassador and said they're going to freeze the assets of certain individuals and groups. And China, such actions from China will not be tolerated. So tensions heating up all around the world. We've got Russia accusing the United States, the UK, and the United States, the UK, and Ukraine of orchestrating that attack in the Russian music hall. We've got China doing cyber attacks on the UK, possibly a cyber attack in Baltimore, Maryland. We will see, but don't think that all of these events are going to just suddenly stop and nothing's going to be going on. These things are going to continue to happen, so that we do not focus on one of them, so that there are bigger, more things, more distractions all the time. Speaking of which, we are 2 weeks away from what is destined to be a life-changing event for more than 31 million people. Towns and timing in the path of the total eclipse. I've got an episode titled that eclipse, and has a lot of expect, where to be, and what to do. And I just found this to be a really interesting, good little video to kind of run along and show you the path as it goes through Texas into Arkansas, now into Missouri, into Illinois, into here in Indiana, up through Ohio, up through Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maine, and eventually out into the Atlantic Ocean. So that's coming up April the 8th. Now, there are those that say that will be an indicator, that will be a trigger, whether biblically or just human-wise, of either coming events or events beginning. We'll see about that as well. As I said, the Russian CIA director, Alexander Bortnikov, said the U.S., Britain, and Ukraine are behind the terrorist attacks. So that is the message that's being perpetrated to the Russian populace, is that it's the U.S., Britain, and Ukraine. Despite ISIS taking credit for it, Russia is pushing a totally different narrative. And Donald Trump's dinner guest at Mar-a-Lago, a guy named Nick Fuentes, says that when the America First movement takes, they must be absolute freedom of speech. Maryland governor has declared a state of emergency over the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. And again, you see that. Let's run this back from the start because you'll see it has the lights on. The lights go out. The lights will come back on, and you'll see a big pillar of black smoke coming out as the diesel engines come on. And it looks like it makes a turn and heads directly toward. Power goes out again. Lights come back on for a third time. Hey, kiddo, I'm doing a live show. I'll call you back. Sorry, that was my daughter. And then you see the impact. All right. So I want to try one more time here. This is running really slow. To show you just a little bit of the video from Texas. And we'll see if this will play. Here we go.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
United States citizen, sir?
Is this a Nazi checkpoint? Do I have to tell you what?
It's an immigration inspection, sir.
So did I break the law?
Is it a 47?
No, it's immigration.
Or you have to state your citizenship, sir. It's an immigration checkpoint. Everybody's subject to inspection. That's the law. Okay. So it's real simple. Are you a United States citizen? Yes or no? Were you born in the United States, sir?
Not answering.
Okay, let's put it this way, sir. You're not going to continue your way until we're satisfied with the inspection. Okay? So as long as you understand that. Are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen, sir?
No, I'm not answering. Is this a Nazi checkpoint? Was I breaking the law? Do you have any reason to stop me?
We do. I mean,
What's your reason for stopping me?
because it's an immigration checkpoint. Everybody's subject to inspection.
Well, did I just cross the border? Was I outside the United States?
No, but you're real close to the border, so it's real simple.
So you're allowed to stop any person for any reason and harass them?
The United States has determined that anybody in the United States crosses through a checkpoint.
Are you an American citizen?
I am a United States
Can I
citizen.
see your papers?
I don't have papers, sir, but I am a
You don't
United
have
States
papers?
citizen. I mean, are you a United States citizen?
I already told you I'm not answering that.
No problem. How you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What's the problem?
I don't have a problem. I'm just driving. I just want to go on my way. And you're detaining me?
Okay.
Am I being detained? Did I break the law?
You're being inspected.
Why am I being inspected? What did I break the law?
Nobody breaks the law. You come over here, we're a permanent checkpoint.
Okay. And the reason for the inspections, obviously, is people smuggle immigrants. Once they get across the border, they're smuggled to other places. So the checkpoints are going to be, you should expect them when you pass a law that you passed in Texas.
Everybody that comes through here is inspected as far as immigration staff.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Well, I didn't break the law. I don't appreciate being detained. I don't know why you're detaining me. Is this Nazi Germany? Am I being?
Did you answer the immigration inspection question?
No, I didn't. I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna answer.
That's why we're gonna detain you.
So I am being detained.
Right now, yeah, you are on second right. Because you refuse to answer a citizenship question. It's just so simple.
Well, in America, we have freedoms and we have rights, and you don't have the right to stop somebody without any.
Yes, he does. Your state gave him that right. Then you took it to the Supreme Court to make sure that you could do this. And this happens all the time. There are unended consequences to actions, and more citizens are going to get randomly stopped and inspected because of this law that gives more power to law enforcement. Things are going to be found that have nothing to do with immigration, and people are going to go to jail.
Reason, but they didn't break the law or anything. This isn't Nazi Germany. This is America.
We're a permanent checkpoint. We put here by Congress. And we check everybody that comes through here or come in, we check for immigration.
Do you have papers? Are you an American citizen?
Do I have papers? Yeah, I have a passport and I have birth certificate.
Can I see him?
I don't have it right now.
Why don't you have? What if some guy who thought he had the authority could just stop you and check your papers and want to see your papers?
Then we'll check. If they don't have
well, let me see him then. I want to see him.
Well,
I want to check.
right now.
How do I know you're an American citizen? You don't look like an American citizen.
I don't. I don't look like it. How an American citizen look like?
Well,
Tell me.
I don't know. But you don't look like one.
I don't look like him. He's an American citizen.
How do I know he's an American citizen?
He's an American citizen.
How do I know he's an American citizen?
All the guy would have had to do is say, "Yes, I'm an American citizen," and they would have pushed him along the way. You see what I'm talking about when I say that the country is full of anxiety, full of angst, full of uncertainty, and people. I'm sure this. I don't know, but my hope is this guy is not an asshole. Okay, the guy that's being an asshole. It depends on how you look at it, but all he had to do was say, "Yes, I'm an American citizen," and go on your way, and chose to escalate, and eventually the guy ends up in trouble because of his own choices. We love to talk about the freedom we have here, but we are signing over. We're demanding in many situations those freedoms to be taken away from us by having stricter laws about things, by giving more protection to entities that we may find out that those actions have unintended consequences. All right. Thank you for being here. I'm about 7 minutes longer than I wanted to be, and I just wanted to get all this out. Again, more stuff's going to come out on Diddy. Justin Bieber's supposed to go down next. Jay-Z, Clive Davis. The list goes on and on in the P. Diddy thing. The Russians are trying to say that United States, Ukraine, and United Kingdom actually planned the terror attack in Moscow. Chris's thought is Ukraine was behind it. My thought is that the Russians did it to themselves to justify the upcoming escalation in the war. And then finally, what's going on in Texas? Immigration points all over the place. Hopefully they'll do some good and they'll catch some people smuggling some immigrants, but it's going to be a hassle, and it's already turning out to be, as you have just seen. Again, thanks for tuning in. I do greatly appreciate you watching this special edition live episode, kind of unplanned. At the moment, I'm not sure when we're going to be back on. So hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit the notification so you know when we'll be back on. And hit that subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to become part of the community and to keep your eyes open. So until next time, If you want to email, americandoofus@gmail.com, AMERICANDUFUS@gmail.com. Cash App is $ American Doofus. Once again, AMERICANDUFUS. And we will be back on soon. Love y'all. Love y'all like chocolate chip cookies, and that's sincere. Blessings upon you. Wish you nothing but peace. And as always, it's a dark world. Try to be a light.